Hi everybody, it's Debbie here and welcome back to my Crafty Den. So I'm working on some ATC coins. These are the artist trading coins. So I guess the rule of thumb for these size-wise, because in an earlier video I made some 2.5-inch ones, some 2-inch ones, and some 1-inch discs. And that was just the discs I was making. So I was thinking of doing 2-inch trading coins, but I guess they are trading coins if they're 2.5 inches. And if they're 2 inches or 1 inches, they can be traded, but then they're traded as circular inchies and twinchies. A twinchy is a 2-inch by 2-inch piece of art or a 2-inch circle, and an inchy is a 1-inch by 1 inch, and I'm saying like tiny, really tiny, 1 by 1 inch piece of art or a 1-inch circle. So those are the dimensions. So I'm working on some little art right now, and these are the 2.5-inch ones because I've actually joined a trading site for the artists trading coins. So the first thing that I want to do, because I've already made my, and the top, the white top that I have on my disc is just a piece of sketch paper. Just an ordinary cheap dollar store sketch paper. So the first thing that I'm going to do is use my pastel chalks to do a little bit of a background on this one. So that's all I'm going to do with it. So I'm just going to put some chalk on there. And then I am going to take a little cloth, and I am going to blend the blue in, and I'm going to blend the green in. I've just added a background. Now that's good for any picture that you want to put on here now. Okay, I've got some stamps. Where is my stamp pad? Hold on 1 second while I grab the stamp pad that I want to use. Well, that didn't take even a second. It was right here. So, but I want to use my Dilutions because it's permanent mixed media ink palette, and it's archival, and it comes in 4 lovely colors. So I'm going to do a little stamping on this, and I'm going to use this red rubber stamp of some flowers. So I'm going to ink up the stamp, and I'm not even going to bother to put it on a block because these are so darn small that I don't think I need to. So I am going to there. So I have that. It's amazing what just a couple of prints of the same stamp will do. But I mean, that I stamped it, and then I stamped it off, and then I stamped it, and I stamped it off. So that second stamping, the second stamping gives you this really light color, which makes it look like you've got some depth. And it's so easy to do. And I have this little butterfly here, which I think I am going to stamp right here. There. There, isn't that pretty? And I mean, just with a couple of stamps and some pastel chalks, I've got this, and it's almost done. I've got some pens here. So I'm going to take this teeny tiny little one. Yeah, this is a teeny tiny one. And I am going to just to do these up a little bit. And I'm going to make my lines a little jagged because I want it to look a little sketched. There. See? I've got a little, I'm going to just go around that. I'll just go around this one. There. So I have that. And that's what happens when you don't use a block, though, if you're not really careful. See that little tiny piece of pink that's there? But that's okay. I am going to take this gold pen and I'm going to add a little bit of highlights to some of these flowers. There are just a few little tiny gold accents. That's all I put on there. And I am going to border it for sure. So I might want a bigger one. So that's an 08. This is a nice big one. I'm going to stitch with my pen. On these little coins, I really feel borders are important. I really do. I made 4 of them, my first 4. And they were done, at least I thought they were done. And I'd edged them with a little bit of ink, but they didn't feel finished to me. And I think it's because there are no flat edges. There's no squared corners. And with them being round, they have this kind of infinite feel. So until you put a border on them, they don't feel done. Like they really don't feel done. So I have that. And then I have this. And it is a walnut stain. But I'm going to go around the edge. But it's not black, see? My husband's practicing some guitar out there, so if you can hear it, I apologize. And I definitely don't have to worry about copyright infringement because he hasn't played enough of a whole song to have infringed on anybody's. Yeah, that's what happens when he practices. He just does runs and... I think I need to get my marker. Where is my marker? Here it is. Maybe do it instead because I'm not getting that finished look that I wanted, and I haven't done this on these yet. So there's a lot of work to making an inchy or a twinchy or a artist trading coin or an ATC, regardless of how easy or how complicated you make the actual art on the front. There's still a lot of work just in making your disc, in prepping your there, I like that one. So now I am going to find a sentiment, and I'm going to put a sentiment on there. So I found a little sentiment, and what I did for my sentiment this time, so that I didn't write this myself, I have a ton of magazines and books here, and I just go through sometimes and just cut out words like, yeah, I've got ink on my fingernail. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I do. I just go through books sometimes, and this says, allow nature to take its course. And of course, if we didn't allow nature to take its course, there would be no butterflies. So that seemed an appropriate sentiment for this one. So all I have left to do is outline the words when it's dry, and I might give it a coat of something to protect it over the top, and I might not. I'm not sure yet. So that's my first one. So I'll show you what I'm doing with this one. I found this little sketch in a magazine, and it's just a black and gray, like a tone-on-tone type of thing. But it was only enough to cover a little wee bit of this 2.5-inch circle. So what I chose to do is finish drawing. I put a little bit of gray on the circle and glued it down, and then I finished drawing out some of the lines, added a few more, and I'm going to add some color to it, and I'm going to turn it into a little art piece. So I just wanted to show, like, I had bits and pieces sticking out of this, and if you put your sanding block on the edge of your ATC card or AT coin or Inchy or Twinchy, as long as you've got a good solid background, you can put it on and only rub in one direction. Always rub down over the hard part and not up against your paper, because you'll tear your paper. And you can go around the edge a little bit. But this does give this, when you've got a few different pieces of paper on something, this does smooth your edges and finish them up just nicely. And then you can take your marker and very carefully go around the outside edge. And you've got a finished artist trading coin. So this one needs some pen just around there. Had to be careful because so it says the right view will soothe your soul. I know that does for me. I don't know if it works for everybody, but it does for me. And my favorite views are the mountains and the ocean and lakes. So yeah, I would give almost anything for a nice quiet deck with a nice view and a comfortable chair, of course. So that's my second one. Now I think I'll go around this one with a pen and give it a frame and finish it off. So here's another one, and I'll tell you what I did with this one. All I did was I took the number 2, I believe, yes, the number 02. Micron pen, and I sketched 2 flowers. So then I colored them in with my flare pens, and then I added water before they were quite dry and let them run. And I did that on purpose because I wanted it to look like it wasn't a new piece. But the effect I was going for was that it wasn't a new piece and that it had been wet and it wasn't permanent ink, which is permanent now because I've got it really dry. And once I was done that, I wasn't happy with how much the purple ran because the purple kind of faded. So I added a little more around the edges. I used my silver stickles on the flower petals. I used the number 2 micron again to make little dots in the centers of the flowers. And I edged it in a nice turquoise blue. And then I wrote, "Bloom where you are planted." So there's the whole one. So I've done 3 different coins. So I wanted to show you that you're not limited with these. You can do anything you want to. So this one I glued on some pieces and then colored in some pieces, and just to show you that you can take anything that you want to and glue it on and turn it into whatever you want to. You can collage on these. These are all nice and flat. They'll go into a page protector, nice and easy. This one says, "Allow nature to take its course," and it is just a green and blue background. And notice that my green and blue background goes across like this, but I didn't put the butterfly and the flowers and the stuff on straight. And I did that on purpose too, because it's art, right? I can do what I want to. but the reason that I did this is because you're not limited to this being the horizon. It doesn't have to be the horizon. Your horizon can be anything that you want it to be. I just wanted a 2-tone background, basically. So this one has a few little gold pen highlights on it. It's got a little bit of sketching and a border. This one doesn't have a pen border, but it is edged all the way around to get a nice wide edging to give it a border. And all I did with this one was I took the ink pad in this teal blue and I dragged the coin like this, just dragged it. And I kept turning it and dragging it through so that there'd be lots of ink on it. So there's 3 different styles. Now you're only limited by your imagination. If you can imagine it, you can turn it into one of these coins. But what I like about them being round is that they seem to be, until you put this border on, they seem to be limitless. You can kind of just do what you want to. So there's no hard edges. It doesn't feel like you're being held back. And I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody else. It's just the way that I feel about them. But yeah, I do like this one with the stickles on it. I like this one with the water and the bleeding effect that I did. So that's it. I did the 3. I'm going to make a whole bunch more, but you're not going to sit through the process of every single ATC card or coin that I make. That would just be silly. So there it is. I wanted to keep this down to 20 minutes. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, share, and if you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there and become part of my YouTube family. So bye-bye for now, everybody. Have a great day.